Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode on Mastering Life in Today's World. Chapter 6. Discipline, Habits, and Daily Systems for Success. Success is rarely dramatic. It is rarely loud. It is rarely instant. Success is structured. Behind every strong life is a system. Behind every achievement is discipline. Behind every mature character is a pattern of consistent habits. Many people admire outcomes but ignore the routines that created them. They desire success but resist structure. They pray for breakthrough but avoid discipline. This chapter will show you that lasting success is not built on motivation. It is built on systems. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more transformational insights. Why motivation fails but systems work. Motivation is emotional. Systems are structural. Motivation rises and falls depending on mood, environment, and circumstances. You feel inspired after reading a book, listening to a sermon, or watching a powerful speech. But days later that feeling fades. Emotion is unstable. Structure is dependable. Even Scripture acknowledges the inconsistency of human desire. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew 26 verse 41. You may want to change. You may intend to improve. But without structure, intention fades. The problem with motivation. Motivation depends on feeling energized, feeling confident, feeling inspired. But what happens when you are tired? You are discouraged? You are distracted? If your progress depends on how you feel, your growth will always fluctuate. Why systems create stability? A system is a repeatable structure that produces consistent results. For example, budgeting monthly instead of hoping to save more. Exercising at the same time daily instead of waiting to feel ready. Scheduling prayer time instead of praying only when stressed. Systems remove decision fatigue. Proverbs teaches the power of diligence. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Proverbs 21 verse 5. Notice the word plans. Planning is a system. When you design systems, you reduce reliance on emotion and increase reliability of action. Building habits that strengthen character. Habits are small behaviors repeated consistently over time. They shape character quietly. You do not build character in one moment of courage. You build it in daily choices. Your habits determine your health, your productivity, your spiritual growth, your emotional maturity. The formation of habits. Habits form through repetition and reinforcement. Every repeated action strengthens a neural pathway in the brain. That is why small actions matter. One missed workout is not destructive. One careless word is not catastrophic. But repeated carelessness forms a pattern. Scripture reflects this cumulative principle. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke 16 verse 10. Small disciplines create large outcomes. Habits that strengthen character. Daily reflection. Reviewing your day builds awareness. Consistent prayer or meditation. Spiritual grounding strengthens perspective. Reading and learning. Continuous growth sharpens thinking. Practicing self-control. Saying no to impulse builds maturity. Honest communication. Speaking truth consistently builds integrity. Character is not built in public moments. It is built in private consistency. The law of gradual growth. Transformation rarely happens overnight. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6 verse 9. Growth requires persistence. When habits feel repetitive, remember, repetition is reinforcement. Time management in a distracted age. Time is equal for everyone, but results are not. Why? Because attention is unequal. We live in the most distracted generation in history. Notifications interrupt focus. Social media fragments attention. Multitasking reduces efficiency. Entertainment is endless. Time is not just about hours, it is about focus. The cost of distraction. Distraction weakens deep thinking, creativity, strategic planning, spiritual attentiveness. When your attention is divided, your results decline. The Apostle Paul encouraged intentional living. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity. Ephesians 5 verses 15 to 16. Making the most of time requires awareness and intentionality. Practical time management principles. 1. Prioritize by purpose. If it does not align with your purpose, it deserves less time. 2. Use time blocks. Schedule focus periods for important work. 3. Reduce low-value activities. Track how much time is spent on non-essential tasks. 4. Protect morning and evening routines. The first and last hours of your day shape your mindset. 5. Eliminate decision overload. Prepare in advance, clothes, meals, plans. Time is not managed by chance, it is managed by choice. Designing a daily routine that aligns with purpose. Routine is not restriction, it is freedom. When your day has structure, your mind has clarity. A purpose-driven routine ensures your daily actions reflect your long-term goals. Without routine, days become reactive. Energy becomes scattered. Priorities get neglected. With routine, focus increases. Productivity stabilizes. Stress decreases. Elements of a purpose-aligned routine. 1. Morning alignment. Begin the day intentionally. Prayer or reflection. Review of priorities. Physical movement. Jesus modeled intentional solitude. Very early in the morning, Jesus got up, left the house and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Mark 1 verse 35. Intentional beginnings create focused days. 2. Strategic work blocks. Schedule time for meaningful progress on key goals. 3. Renewal periods. Rest is part of productivity. Breaks restore clarity. Even God modeled rhythm. On the seventh day God rested. Genesis 2 verse 2. Rest is not laziness, it is renewal. 4. Evening review. What did I accomplish? What needs adjustment? What am I grateful for? Reflection strengthens awareness. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more transformational insights. The discipline of consistency. Consistency is not glamorous. It is repetitive. But repetition creates reliability. Athletes train daily. Musicians practice scales repeatedly. Leaders review plans regularly. Spiritual growth also requires discipline. Train yourself to be godly. 1 Timothy 4 verse 7. Training implies repetition and intentional effort. Why discipline equals freedom? Many misunderstand discipline as restriction. In reality, financial discipline creates financial freedom. Emotional discipline creates relational freedom. Spiritual discipline creates inner peace. Time discipline creates productivity freedom. Discipline protects your future. Without discipline, habits control you. Emotions dominate decisions. Time disappears unnoticed. With discipline, you control your actions. You direct your growth. You build predictable progress. Conclusion. Structure creates strength. Success is not accidental. Character is not automatic. Mastery is not random. It is built daily. When you shift from motivation to systems, progress becomes consistent. Growth becomes measurable. Purpose becomes practical. Discipline transforms intention into action. No discipline seems pleasant at the time but painful. Later on, however, It produces a harvest of righteousness and peace. Hebrews 12 verse 11. The harvest comes later, but it comes. Design your systems. Strengthen your habits. Protect your time. Align your routine with purpose. And slowly, steadily, your life will reflect the structure you build. That is how mastery becomes sustainable. Thank you for listening. Kindly like, follow, or subscribe to our channel so you do not miss out on our next episode.